Hi, welcome to Foodie. We're having our first cold front blow through Houston, so I'm going to make some really warm, hearty soup today. And I think I'm going to call it the everything but the kitchen sink soup, or hamburger macaroni soup, I guess would be a better name. I'm just going to go through the pantry, clear out any canned vegetables that are getting ready to expire in the next year. Same thing, I'm going to go through the freezer. Anything that's been in there for a while, we're going to dump it in this soup, and it's going to be a lot, and it's going to be really warming on this cold winter day. So let's get started. So I'm starting with 1 pound of pretty lean ground beef. Actually, I found this on sale today at the store too. It's 93% ground beef, and I found it 25% off. I guess it was getting ready to expire as well. All right, so we're gonna fry this till it's well done. I'm going to put in about a half of a chopped yellow onion. Boy, that onion was really strong. 1 garlic clove chopped. Salt and pepper to taste. Maybe a half a teaspoon of salt, and the same with pepper. And some of the frozen vegetables that I wanted to kind of get rid of, as I had a little part of a bag of diced green pepper. So I'm just going to put all that in there as well. That was maybe a 1/4 cup of pepper, green bell pepper. All right, so we're just going to fry this up till the meat's well done and the onions and the pepper are tender. All right, because I'm using the 93% lean ground beef, there really isn't too much fat in here, so I'm not going to drain it. But if you're using 80 or 85%, you'll want to drain that grease off of there, pat it with a paper towel, get all that excess grease off of the meat, and then put it back in the pan. I'm going to turn my burner down a little bit to medium. I've got 2 medium-sized potatoes that I've peeled and diced into pretty small pieces. And because we need to cook these potatoes, I'm going to go ahead and put in now 2 cups of beef broth. And we can just kind of get that started. You can work slow here because we want to simmer that till these potatoes are tender. So maybe I'll go ahead and turn this back up to a little over medium heat. We can put in some of our spices now. I've got some celery flakes, maybe a teaspoon, maybe a half a teaspoon of cumin. And then my favorite for these kinds of soup, some chili powder. And I want to put in, good, maybe half a tablespoon. Some of the vegetables I'm going to pour in. I'm going to use the whole can of peas and carrots, and I'm going to put in the liquid and everything. That's just going to add to the soup base. This is a 15-ounce can. I've got a 10-ounce can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. Again, pour juice and everything in. 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. I had some corn. I don't think I'm going to put all of the corn in, so I'll put most of it in. I'm going to put, a good full cup of the corn. And then my favorite in these kinds of soups are lima beans. And this is strictly optional. I just do it because it kind of reminds me of when I'd come home from school in kindergarten. My mom worked, so my dad worked the morning shift, so he got home around noon, about the same time I did. And when we would open up a can of Campbell's vegetable soup and share it, split it in half, and then we would count who got the most lima beans. And believe me, there was only about 7 or 8 in the whole can. So it's just kind of a little fun thing for me. And I'm not going to put this juice in here because it's kind of creamy almost. So I have about a half a can there. So this is going to be just about it. We're going to heat this up, warm, let it simmer maybe 10 minutes till we get those potatoes tender. You could have used, canned potatoes. I'm not real fond of canned potatoes, so I wanted to use the fresh potatoes. So let's just let this heat up and boil. And look, you can see this is a huge pot. This is going to, actually Catherine and I, it's probably going to give us 4 meals, but it'll definitely feed a whole family. Good. But yes, I'm going to add, I don't think that was a half a tablespoon I put in. I almost forgot a very important ingredient. Again, about a half a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Going to give it a nice little peppy. And then what I'm going to do, because, like I said, because there's so much of this, I'm going to boil some macaroni and separately. Like if you're going to serve this whole meal, you can put the macaroni right in here and boil it along with the potatoes and get it tender. Macaroni doesn't freeze real well when it's cooked like this. So I'm just going to boil the macaroni separate, maybe put it in the bottom of a bowl, then we'll pour the soup on top of it. And then that way we can freeze the soup and use it for another meal some other day. All right, my potatoes are nice and tender. Everything's ready to go. I went ahead and made up the macaroni. So let's just put in, a couple of good scoops of macaroni. We can spoon our soup on top. I'm going to put a little dollop of sour cream on the top of mine. And then sprinkle a little bit of cilantro. Here we are. Let's give it a taste. Hope it's not too hot. Really good on a cold winter day. Sour cream makes it nice and creamy. I love that cilantro in there too. Very simple, very hearty, warm in the winter time. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to Ed Foodie right over there. Thank you for watching, and when you eat this, don't forget to count the lima beans.